Oatmeal stout.
So that's how we are preparing with oatmeal stout. And I traded the JMO for a Diet Coke.
You wanted to be PC for this one, huh?
No, that can't happen. I'll still bring the rated R or X, whatever this conversation leads into. So, what's up, guys? We are live, and I'm just going to double check. So, if we are live and we're audible, can you guys let us know here in the comments below, just so we know? I know that a bunch of you guys responded going, and we sent an email blast out last night. By the way, did you get your own email blast about you, or are you yet to be in our database?
I might not be in your database yet.
Dude,
I don't know. I have too many emails to check.
I'm going to find your email, and I'm going to make sure you get daily tips from Rahul and Cody.
I've been missing out on the sauce this whole time. Shit.
Just do not unsubscribe and buy our shit. But no, in all honesty, Grant has been here this is round number 4. We're going for a Rocky movie series here. So we may have to outdo Rocky and bring in the Creed level stuff here. But in any event, you guys, I'm going to let Grant give a quick background because you can watch previous videos of what we've done in the past. In fact, if you guys are struggling for sales, type in the search box Grant, look for the 3 previous ones and start with the first one, then go to the second, go to the third, and rewatch this one, because what you're about to learn is just small little tweaks that will significantly help you. And whatever you hear live through this replay, we want you to do hashtag live, hashtag replay, drop some hearts, but most importantly, participate. Because when I bring in guests like Grant, it attracts other awesome guests too, and it also motivates him to come back. Like, that's the currency we look for, is your participation. And most importantly, if you hear something that's like a fucking dime, and a dime is something really good, the sauce, something hot that you like, type that in the chat. Share it with somebody else. Stop being selfish, or don't be selfish. I don't want to say stop because I don't know you, but don't be selfish. And when you type things in the chat, it also has this recall in your brain when you actually just dictate it. And then you can actually repeat it, and then you can actually execute it in your sales calls or your training or whatever. So now that being said, Grant, why don't you give a little brief background about yourself?
Well, I don't even know what to say. This is what, our 4th one in your group, probably like 6th one now total.
I'm going to put your photo on our banner. Your photo is going
on up there. Yeah,
you've earned it.
I don't know. I don't have my own sales programs or do anything. There's a YouTube channel. I'm not here to sell you anything. And I don't have to masquerade as a guru. I just like selling stuff and, helping other people sell more shit too. So I'm just here to help you make more money and probably offend a few of you in the process, because I don't have a filter, and life's more fun that way. So
yeah. And I mean, like, offending people is part of like what we need to do, and we just look at it as criticism, right? Because I love it when people like attack me in a good way, because I look at it as that side of the coin. Like, if somebody says, "Hey, your fucking sales pitch sucks," I'm like, "Dope. What don't you like about it?"
Yeah.
Like, what can I improve to be better? Like, I'm a student all along. So the more shit people talk about me, I love that, because it gives me either A, are you the fucking source of idiocy? Or are you valid, and I take that information and do something about it? Because that's how I learned. Like, I mean, school didn't teach me shit. I'm not a good student at all. Maybe in high school, I was partially good when I chose to be. College was checked out, cheated, didn't show up to class. And yep. I learned from like just doing. And part of it was the learning curve of sports. When you're in sports and you watch like coaches' jobs are to like discipline you and get you to be better. And sometimes when they teach you, it comes out like, motherfucker, run 2 fucking miles, and it better be in 11 minutes. Otherwise you're off the team. Now you're motivated. Right. So I like that kind of intensity to break me. So, but today's world's really sensitive. We have to be nice and kind. But that's kind of what got me going, is just like people hanging, like literally my first sales trainer literally I was sitting at realtor.com, and actually this is my second sales trainer. The guy fucking sucked. I hated him. I was scared to go to work. I was scared to pick up the phone. The phone felt like $1 million because I was scared of him, not the phone. Because he would tap. Yeah, because you don't know when the managers were listening in. I know that they want to know what I'm doing when I'm doing it. I get that. I honor that. I do that. I want to. I'm glad he wants to know how many dials, how many phones, how many offers I made. That's their job. That's important from a managerial perspective. But he would literally listen in, walk over the phone, just hang it up, saying dog shit. And I'm like, huh. Thanks for feedback. Thanks for
feedback. Sounds like you
bro.
worked for like Steve Jobs. You ever read his biography?
No.
Oh, dude, you'd love it. It's hilarious. He was so black and white. In his eyes, you are one of two things: complete shit or incredible. There was no fine line. I mean, there was no gray area. So, you bring to him a project where it's not quite perfect. It's not like, oh, this is pretty good. Here's some room to improve. It's complete shit. Fix it.
Yeah.
And that's kind of how one of my first sales mentors was too. So it sharpened the saw a lot quicker. I'm not quite that guy because I also believe, in this awesome Michael Scott quote, you miss 100% of the shots you don't take, Wayne Gretzky, Michael Scott. So you don't want to scare your reps out of talking on the phone like that. But yeah, I think we've gotten too soft as a society. And ultimately, if you're selling coaching, you got to be able to be confrontive, especially if you're selling coaching with yourself. Like if you were going to be the one coaching and you don't have a backbone on your sales call, well, one of two things is going to happen. You're either going to bring on people into your coaching program who will then be offended and who will charge back because it's a misrepresentation call to then program, or, you'll show up soft and you just won't make sales because someone hires a coach to change their belief system. And if you don't have a backbone, you're not willing to call people out on faulty thought processes. Why would I hire you? I want to hire a coach that can tell me what I'm doing wrong so that I can do more things right.
100%.
That's just me. I don't know. You don't have to agree with me because it doesn't change my life one bit. But if you resonate with that, drop it in the comments below. Get hard.
Yeah, definitely. Like drop anything you want in the comments. And one of my boys is listening too, Nasir. What up, dude? He's gonna have some funny comments in below throughout this process. He's still here. But let's take it from a lens. We'll get into some sales stuff. So you guys that are watching, we'll get into a little bit of role play, objection handling, that kind of stuff. We're gonna put Grant. We're gonna put Grant on the spot with an
every
IPA.
Fucking time.
Every time, like he doesn't know what I'm gonna ask, what we're gonna sell. He's just like, that's how good he is. He's already prepared and you'll see how cool, calm, and collected he is. And I want you guys to know when we start this, it's going to be tonality, calmness, curiosity. So look for those things on his demeanor. Okay. So that's important. But let's look at it from like a lot of people in this group are going to be marketing agencies or they're going to be coaches, right? So, So I want to take it from a management standpoint because you just came off training people because you're a sales manager. As well, right? So like if we, since a lot of people like they don't have their own sales manager, it's just them, they have to close, they have to fulfill, they have to do all this stuff. But if we only focused on sales, like when you're in that solopreneur, and if you can give them like sales manager advice saying, all right, guy, like this is the discipline of only sales, like how you would trade somebody else. And I'll give you an example if that's getting confusing. Ask me to clarify if need be.
No, I'm already coming up with some good stuff, but if you want to further elaborate, that's totally
yeah.
cool.
So I'm going to put it in the lens of myself. I'm sitting here. I'm the solopreneur. I want to make $30,000. I'm at $10,000 a month right now. So I have my metrics of my revenue goal. Now, I now need to be so disciplined to be my sales manager and my salesperson. So I need to actually execute instead of stop procrastinating. I can't procrastinate. So I need to have like my own, I have to do my own check-ins. I have to have my KPIs. I have to make 50 dials. I have to make 100 DMs. I have to do these tasks because I like the metrics just because that's the only thing I really knew. Because like when salespeople aren't closing, you have to back into your volume's not high enough. In my opinion, your quality is not high enough or whatever that root cause is. It could be you fucking suck flat out. That could be it too. So we have to just identify, is volume down? Is it the right bad audience? Is it bad marketing? Because if we have bad marketing, we need better sales. If we have good marketing, we need average to good sales and we can hit our numbers. So when you're alone, like how do you self-discipline yourself to stay motivated to focus in on your getting to your goal and also within the time frame that you set for yourself without going off track? Because that's the easiest thing to do is go off track.
This is such a good question. And I haven't been asked it before, so this is fun. This answer is probably not out there, at least in my voice yet. What I've learned more than anything now being majority a sales manager, I don't take a whole lot of sales calls myself anymore. I run a couple teams. 3 things: skills, mindset, accountability. So, you mentioned that a lot of times if someone goes into a sales slump, like their volume's not high enough. And, that could be the case sometimes. But what I've learned more than anything as a sales manager now is, even though the skills are important, skills are probably about 15%. of what I spend my time doing with reps. You know, like, hey, we're going to adjust how you're asking these questions. You know, hey, this would be a better way, you know, better language patterns. Let's change this in your scripting process. But yeah, we don't spend a whole lot of time doing that. Where I spend probably 80% of the time is emotional state management. That's it. Because I've got guys that will, you know, crush it with 70% close rates for a couple weeks and then go into a slump. Their leads haven't changed. They're saying the same shit. Who's aroused? Is PD on here? I can't see the names, but I guarantee that's PD.
Who is aroused, this guy? So like, let's see. PD, you out there, dude? Like, I don't know why. Like, I can't tell who it is. It's in my own comments, but
it cracks me up.
I don't know if that's you, PD. Can you text me, PD, or something if that's you? Because it has to be you if you're aroused. Or yeah, Mario.
Text me some more crypto signals, bro. I'm fiending for it.
Yeah, I'm in my 40s, dude. Like, text message me. I can't read comments.
But to go back, you know, it's me. Mostly, yes, yep, it's mostly emotional state management, because, you know, sales is an emotional thing. Like, people. There have been brain studies done on this. If you remove a person's ability to actually connect with emotions, you literally cut off their ability to make decisions. Someone with no emotional capacity can reason all of the facts, logic, reasons, right, why maybe they should do something or why it could make sense, but a decision is made for an emotional result. And so knowing that, it should be pretty simple. I mean, you guys are all smart. Like, you recognize this. You buy things emotionally and then you back them up with logic. So there needs to be two cases. But you can't manipulate, and I don't want the word manipulate to come off as a negative, like manipulate, to change, to influence. You can't influence someone's emotional state if yours is completely out of whack, because the place from which you communicate is the same place in which it's received in the other person. So I could say all the right words, but it comes from a fake place emotionally. And it's not going to land the same way as someone else. This is why there's usually one or two reps that'll dramatically outperform the rest of the team. They're in the zone emotionally. They're connected. They're congruent. Owen Cook, RSD Tyler Durden, talks about clarity of intent and alignment between your thoughts, words, and your actions. If it's misaligned, then you're going to, one, work way too hard. And two, you're not going to get nearly as good of results. So that's where I spend, again, 80% of my time as a sales manager is making sure that my reps are solid emotionally. And they're not avoiding things that they need to confront, and they're not getting overly anxious or too analytical or getting wrapped up in other stuff. Because if you're not present on a call, you miss things and the other person can feel it. So the biggest thing is, like, if I'm now telling a solopreneur how to effectively self-manage themselves, it's be in awareness and self-reflection of where your emotional state is on any given day and throughout the day. And then the other two things where I say, like, skills and accountability. Skills, yes, continue sharpening your sword, because you can't cut down a tree with a dull axe. You know, it's one of the 7 habits of highly effective people. Think that's the book I got it from. You know, sharpen your saw. Because if you spend 10 minutes sharpening your saw and 20 minutes to cut down a tree, you're better off than the person who spent an hour just trying to chop with a dull saw. So that's important, sure. And that's where videos like this, right now, you're sharpening your sword. Great, more power to you. You're awesome. I congratulate you for being here. Just make sure you're an active participant in your education process, because it'll be largely a waste of time if you just listen to this whole video, but you never take any notes. So drop them in the comments. In fact, do it right now. If you've learned anything so far, drop it in the comments. It's for your benefit.
Like, get a piece of paper. Like, when you see me look into the right, I got some notes already. So it's just like emotionally congruent. Like, these are things that a lot of people constantly have to have the habit of hearing it from, like, a grant or otherwise, and practice it, because it's repetitive. Everything we do is repetitive. Right. So we don't necessarily need always more information. We just need more execution. And that's what I love about this. Like, you can already tell you're a studious person, like quoting books and Owen Cook and seven effective habits of whatever the fuck that book is.
I like to know more shit than I probably should. But I mean, even today, I'm looking at my notes to the right, because I take notes on my Apple computer all day, pretty much every day through a conversations, interactions, trying to just extract at least one gold nugget a day. And one of my favorite sales mentors that I've had, Eli Wild, he interviewed, I forget the guy's name, but one of the top hostage negotiators. And I've got this new understanding of human needs, not Tony Robbins, certainty, uncertainty, significance, love, connection, variety, contribution, growth, but the social needs being significance, approval, acceptance, strength, pity, and intelligence. And then also how people make decisions. Is it from a place of deviance, conformity, novelty, social, necessity, investment? I'm learning literally every day.
Yeah.
And it's fun. So you mentioned earlier on, things to take note of, tonality, cadence, and curiosity. I think curiosity is one of the best tools that you can foster in any profession. People say follow your passion. I don't think you should do that. Or okay, maybe not. That's a bad way to explain it. People say if you do what you love for a living, you'll never work a day in your life. I don't necessarily agree with that, because for me, if I were to try and make a career out of music, then I probably wouldn't play much music. I have a thing on my wall that says I'm coming for everything they said I couldn't have. I'm very contrarian. I like to do things that people said I can't. And when there's too much rigidity, too much structure, I don't like to do it anymore. So no, I'm not going to create a career out of my passion. I want to create a career out of my curiosity. I think the most successful people in the world are that way because they're curious enough about a subject to learn a little bit more about it every day. I'm so curious about what influences people's decision-making process that I'm just fascinated to learn a little bit more about it every day, which is why, a few million in sales under my belts, and I get to run some awesome sales teams. It's pretty fun. It's not my number one passion. It pays the bills and it does it handsomely. And that gives me the time and freedom to pursue other passions. But that's what I mean by pursue your curiosity, because you protect the passions that are sacred, and you can do them just because you want to, when you want to. But if you create a career around what you're just curious about every day, I mean, shit, you could run a successful blog and affiliate marketing business, just as an example. If all you were curious about is learning a little bit more about interior design every day, you're like, oh, I'm going to learn something cool, and I regurgitate it into a blog post, monetize it as an affiliate. Done. That could be your career. So anyway, getting way off script or off question there. So
I think it's important to get into the mindset of what it takes a person to have a long period of time. You've been selling for when you were in your teenage years to now, so you have a long years of a resume. I've been selling for about, I don't know, 20 plus years, whether I know it or not. I wasn't very good at first.
Been selling as long as I've been alive, probably.
Yeah, right. I've been convincing people to do stuff for us as young bucks, like children, and then obviously we evolve into exchanging value for money. So I think it gives a lot of people a little bit of perspective of what it takes. You say you're curious. It's like human behavior. What makes people make decisions? Why and when? What makes people make excuses? Why and when? So, I mean, all we're doing is we're going to go into some role plays, how you challenge those and how you get people to think on a different line that we'll see how this plays out. I don't know what Grant's going to say back, but it's going to be magical here. So for those of you guys that stick around, you're not going to want to miss the role play part of this. But quick thing, because everybody's kept in hindsight. We all coulda, woulda, shoulda. We all said only if I did this. A lot of people said only if I bought ADA or Papa Shiba.
Papa Shiba could still pop. I
won't go there. We're not going to go crypto, but in life in general, I mean, we all wish there was things we could have done sooner. What is something that you wish you could have done sooner for your sales career?
That's, it's a good question. I'd probably ask someone else the same thing, but I believe that I got blessed with some unfair advantages sales wise. I mean, some of the best salespeople in the world, one of Jordan Belfort's right-hand guys, Eli, my business partner today, Ben. For some reason, I just attracted him into my life and they wanted to work with me. So, I mean, I actually got thrust into amazing opportunities before I was ready. And I always just have a mindset of like, if I fuck it up, who cares? Life's not meant to be perfect. You know, it's okay to make mistakes as long as you don't quit. You don't lose. You know, you lose when you quit. So I'm willing to just make mistakes and go for it. I guess if there was one thing that I would change, it would just have been to start sooner. Because I was the kid that drew pictures, ran them through a copy machine for 10 cents a piece, and would sell them to my friends for $1 in elementary school. And then some of that kind of got beat out of me through the school system. And so it wasn't until I was 18 that I actually got back into a selling role. When realistically, I could have done, you know, mowing lawns or it's just something that was performance based up until then. Like I worked construction and then I worked pushing carts at Albertsons. Like I did stuff that wasn't performance based because I just got like unmotivated as a result of going through the school system. So, you know, if anything, I would have just started sooner. Because think about, what does it take, Raul? You probably know more than I do. 8 years to develop mastery. Is that the common saying?
I don't know how the length of years, but I think it's like something in and around 10 hours. I'm sorry, 10,000 hours, not 10 hours, 10,000 hours.
Yeah.
That's something that Jim Cathcart told me. He's like, if you want to master something, and who told him the 10,000 hour mark was Earl Nightingale. So it goes way back to the legendary states of him. Yeah, so I was blessed enough to like learn a lot from Jim Cathcart. He used to live right down the street from me, and I used to have regular cups of coffee until he moved away to Texas last year. So now I got
so jealous.
Yeah. Well, I mean, my biggest takeaway is like if I can go to Captain Hindsight, like the first thing I would probably go back to is I would have. This sounds really like mechanical, but I would have role played a hell of a lot more.
Yeah,
because I think that's where our game film happens is in the role play. It's embarrassing, but that's what it's supposed to be. You're supposed to fuck things up, and that's why it's practice. So we don't screw things up when it's most meaningful. So we're prepared for opportunity. Number two is I probably would have gone to what like I always thought like going to a Tony Robbins thing is like fuck that. I don't have mindset issues. I don't need that fucking bullshit. Rah, bump my chest, talk to strangers, and high five 18,000 fucking people and walk on stupid ass coal, but it actually brings something way different out of you of a different mental state you didn't know was in your brain. Kind of like when you're using bands in the gym, you're going side to side, you have those little muscles that you didn't know could get possibly sore. Like same thing here. You have these mental waves in your brain that just open up a whole different pattern of thinking of like human behavior, like you mentioned, and psychology and open loop questions, NLP, and all these different things. Because as salespeople, we're thinking Jordan Belfort, we're thinking Grant Cardone, like get the fucking yes. But the reality is we have to understand we can't fight like Jeremy Minor would say, can't fight and go against the current of human behavior. We want to go with it, because if we fight it, people can make decisions. We're going to be constantly creating that resistance.
So two things that come up from what you just said. I 100% agree with you on the role play front. I would be a little different. For me, I wish that I would have listened to more of my sales calls earlier. There was this weird resistance of like, I did it, it's done, I'm going to be better on the next one. I don't want to hear it because I hated hearing myself recorded. But I've never grown faster than listening back to my own calls, whether real or role play. That's huge. So if you're not already doing that, highly invite you to. You'll learn more from listening to your own calls from a consumer standpoint than working with a coach. I probably shouldn't say that because I help people sell coaching, but I don't give a fuck. I've literally learned more, and so have many of my clients and, you know, sales reps that work for me. Listen to your own calls and you can better diagnose what you need to change from that perspective than someone else just telling you what to do. Because you could sit here and practice tonality all day, but just based on vocal projection and sound waves, things literally sound different coming out of your mouth to, you know, if I'm talking to you, you hear it different than I hear. It's like when you play the guitar, you hear it different than the people in front of you do. It's just projection. It's weird. But then the other one, just to kind of wrap up a point I wanted to make, if let's just hypothetically say it takes 10 years to reach mastery. I think it's 8, but I could be wrong. Let's call it 10 years. If you start something when you're 20, if the average lifespan's like 80, You've got 6 things you could master in your life. 6 totally different career paths. You could reach mastery, not just like proficient, good, or great, or to the point where you can make a world-class income, but mastery. 6 different times in your life for 6 completely different unrelated things. I think that's so cool. So it's like, why waste time hypothesizing about things that I could do and what could go wrong? Just fucking try it out. And if you're curious enough about it to follow through, you got 5 other chances to become a master at something else. Why not? It's kind of fun.
Yeah, and we're both right on that time frame. I just Googled it while you were talking. It takes anywhere between 6 and 10 years to get great at something, depending on how often and how much you do it. Some estimate that it takes 10,000 hours to master something.
Look at that. Not bad.
Virtual high five. Oh. I love it. Yeah. Cool. So tell me, like, let's get into some role play. You're gonna be, as usual, the sales pro.
Oh,
I'm gonna be as usual.
I'd feel like a dick if I didn't close the loop on this, because you had a great question. Skills, mindset, accountability, emotional state management. Make sure that you are actively working on that. 2, hone your skills. Watch something like this once a day. Could be an hour. Call it good. The other thing is track your numbers. If you don't have accurate data, you don't know what to actually adjust. All my sales reps track their numbers. I track my numbers. You should track your numbers. So that's the last thing.
Okay. I'm going to put that in the chat here for the notes. But 1, manage your emotional state. 2, learn. I'm just putting for 1 hour a day. 3, track your numbers.
Yeah. I think just to throw it out there, I don't necessarily say like you have to learn for an hour a day, but the old adage for like being a writer, it's like write, what is it, 1,000 shitty words a day. Just proactively choose to learn one small thing each day, and chances are most days out of the week you'll get curious and enveloped in something and want to keep learning more. And so it might be 10 minutes one day, it might be 2 hours the next day, and you get this complete epiphany. But just try and learn one thing a day. Extract a lesson. If you get in the process of extracting at least one lesson throughout the day, whether it's something that you pick up or just a personal experience and reflection, you get pretty wise.
No, I love that. Yeah, I like to spend a little bit of time, like, because my mind wanders. So the attention span, like when you have all these ideas and you're trying to do too many things at once. So like sometimes it takes like 2.5 hours. But what I've been doing as of recently, which is what I used to do, is just like completely just go sit with my cup of coffee after having my morning Joe. I just take my pad of paper and then I just write down and knowledge dump just things I just wish I did sooner, or what I feel confused about in my life right now. And when I say my life, I don't mean personal. I mean in the business, like things I just feel like they're disorganized and I'm getting chaos, like head fog. Even though Cody will say, dude, like everything's in one fucking Google Drive folder, bro. Like I just like to document everything. And then I take a picture, send it to him, and I say, hey, that's my Google Drive doc. Dude, but that's one thing to do. But then I also take notes, like whenever I'm doing things like this, I'll just throw in an AirPod. I'm a 1 AirPod person because I don't know why. Like when I have 2 in, I lose focus for some reason. But I just do a 1 AirPod thing, and then I just write my notes. And I start listening to other people's sales calls. Like you mentioned, Eli, and I think the guy's name was Chase McAllister. That's it. The CIA guy, I believe it was. I did not listen to that, so I'm gonna go actually listen to that tonight.
Good.
Yeah. I'll listen to it. Hopefully, if Facebook has like 2 speed, because I know if I know Eli well, he probably went 3 hours.
I think it was. I think it was only about an hour and a half. But yeah, Eli is prone to go on marathons. Dude, I bet that notepad. You probably have a library of those by this point. You got some gray hairs. Could you imagine how much that'd be worth?
I was just thinking about that because I have stacks of them. I mean, I take crazy notes. I don't use whatever voice memos or iPads or anything. It's all paper and pen. Tony Robbins, digital marketer, everybody out there, Jim Cathcart. Even when I'm eating lunch with Jim, like look him up, Jim Cathcart. If you haven't looked him up, he's got some amazing videos on YouTube too, all totally for free. Really cool dude. I'll sit at lunch with him and it'll just be a pen and paper. and I'd be like, I have questions for you, man. I'm like, we're gonna eat lunch, but I got fucking questions for you. And then I just have
Yeah.
like pages and pages of notes, and it's just amazing.
Dude, Jim's a stud. I've listened to, I think, just one interview you did with him, but
Oh yeah,
that's an old man OG right there. There's
yeah,
so many of us like kids, that are get a few skills and we pretend we're gurus and stuff. But fuck,
no.
man, there's people that have been doing this 40, 50 years that understand people on a level that I couldn't even comprehend. I know how to close sales, but at the end of the day, I'm just looking for the next person who's been here twice as long that I can learn from.
What I liked about Jim is that I don't know how, fuck, I lost his age, but he's probably like 77, 78 by now. And I talked to him about a year ago, or maybe earlier this year. Time has flown a little bit. But when I talked to him, like, how's everything going? He's like, amazing. He's like, I just hired this mentor to teach me X. And I forgot what the X was, but I was like, dude, this guy is like 77, 76 years old, and he's still paying mentors to develop himself. So that was the most impressive thing. And that was kind of eye opening for me. Even though I may say it, I didn't actually put it in perspective because I thought I was young enough to not have a mentor at 76 if I make it that long. But I was just thinking, like, you always need like people around you, whether you're paying them, like as you get richer and older, you may want like a cook, you may want a driver if you get to that wealth category. So you have these different coaches, the coach of driving you around so you can maximize time, the coach of your nutrition, your trainer. So you always have these people around you that can help you flourish and keep in your zone of genius as the evolution of your life changes.
Yeah. It goes back to the whole, like, if ever I've seen further, it's because I've stood on the shoulders of giants.
Love it. I love that.
That's what I want to live by every day. Like, there's people that have said way smarter shit than I ever could. Well, I'm gonna keep hiring coaches, so I'm 76, like good old Jim. So maybe I'll get there eventually. But I hate this whole I'm self-made shit. No one is. You're on a fucking computer with power under a roof someone else built. I mean, this idea of like, if I did it myself, it's worth more. No, it's not. It's not. If you've got a shortcut to get what you want and impact more lives and live a better life, like, why go through things the hard way? Pay a little bit, speed up your results. There's a lot of life out there, and you don't live long enough to make all the mistakes yourself. Learn from others.
Yeah. Like I was taught younger, like from my dad, like build it or buy it. And that was kind of like, he was talking software, but it led into everything. Like, would you build a software from scratch, or can you buy something that already exists? You have because when you're building something from scratch, you have all these versions. Like, let's just say it's service, like sales, coaching, or whatever. You can build your own agency from scratch, or you can buy your way with mentorship to a faster pace. So you can get there 2-3 years earlier without the struggle. So it's kind of like, what makes more sense? If you had somebody that can teach it to you quickly, would you buy it? Or would you rather build it, make all the mistakes along the way, and then guess if it works or not? So that's kind of like what you need to think: build versus buy. And that's the most important part. Is like, when you and I worked together, you sold me into a coaching program. I mean, my whole thing was, I get that there's the knowledge. I 100% respect and want that. I want that new skill. I want my team to have new skill. Me personally, I don't care. What I was looking for is, I'm buying the network. I bought something different. You sold coaching. I bought network. So we were on two different wavelengths. Like in the sense of what I really wanted. I'm like, when I pay this large fee of money, I bought attention. I bought referrals. I bought friendships. I bought this is like 2-3 years ago now. And we're still like doing shit together. Remotely and soon in person in Arizona.
Trust, dude. We don't have to wear masks out here. We're getting people to I can't wait to run a live event when I get back from Mexico. I'm going to a Joe Dispenza thing.
Cool.
It's going to be sick. But yeah, it's so beautiful out here. I can't wait to have you out. But what you were just saying sparked something for me. And it's this thought that I just encourage y'all to think about. Dolphins are smarter than we are, but dolphins don't have an evolved society with buildings and roads and all this shit. And like, don't tell me it's because they're underwater. You get the point. I believe the reason why we're as advanced as we are as people is due to pretty much one thing at the core, and that's our ability to record our experience and pass it on. so that we can build upon generation after generation of each other's mistakes and discoveries. Like if we had a worldwide apocalypse and the people that, run our power grids or our cell towers or our water systems were wiped out, and it was just you and me, bro. Do you think you'd be able to just come up with a computer from scratch and build the Wi-Fi networks and the power grids so that we could get back on here? I don't know about you, but I fucking couldn't.
Right.
So,
No, 100% not. Yeah.
I'm like, the reason that we are where we are as people in a society is because we learned from the people that came before us. And now we're at a point in our life where it's so comfortable. And, there's a quote that's like, hard times create strong men create good times, and then good times create weak men, and then weak men create bad times, which then creates strong men, and yada, yada. I think we're in a period where we're transitioning from strong men who built these good times, now creating a lot of weak men who are going to bring upon us a lot of hard times. And a lot of that comes with this mentality of like entitlement. And, oh, we've got all these things. Well, I'm going to pretend I'm self-made now. And a bunch of weak people. And I've got a lot of room to grow. I am far from perfect. But I think that we need to remind ourselves on a regular basis that if it weren't for the generations that came before us, we wouldn't have shit. And we need to do our part to recognize that and then create something worth passing down. That's why I'm obsessed with the idea of legacy. Build something that can last. I was a Lego kid. I love putting stuff together. Worked construction. I love going back and seeing buildings that I built, when I was a teenager. I think if we could build stuff and pass it down, there's a sense of fulfillment that we get that's unlike anything else. But anyway, we're going off to Pluto. Did you want to do some role play while we've got some time?
Yeah, we got a little bit of time. So who wants to hear some role play? Like who wants to hear Grant sell me something and I'll probably end up buying it? Sell me something you actually could sell and I'll buy it.
I ain't got shit to sell.
I actually wanted to buy it. I actually do want that artwork that you had. Always. I might have to, if I come to your house, I might have to like pry it away from your girl's office.
Yeah, Amber's got it.
Like she's gonna be like, "What happened to the artwork on the wall, Grant? Like your friend left, and now it's gone."
I don't know. I mean, maybe we actually, because the role play stuff is fun, but like people have heard us do it a bunch of different times. I'm wondering if maybe we just pull up like. Do you have a note sheet or something where you keep like gold questions that you find? For me, let me quantify. I use Apple Notes, so it's searchable. And when I hear just like gold questions or language patterns, I like to write them down just so I can remind myself of them. And I've got a few of them set aside that I think are pretty solid.
Share them. Yeah. If you want to share, can you share your screen on this? I'm not as familiar with Be Live as I am with Zoom.
I was looking at it earlier. I don't think I can.
Let me see if I shoot. I have on the left. I have a screen share, but let me see if I can make. Oh, there it is. Show and stream. There you are.
Do I?
Look at you.
Am I showing?
Look at that.
Oh, looks like I am.
Cool. All right, I'm gonna drop out of stream then. All right, let's go show and stream.
Oh, do I still get to hear you if you do that?
Okay, now it's really tiny. Let's see how we can switch us around a bit. Hang on. Okay, those are weird. Okay, that's 3x3. I thought there was a way to like.
Having fun with it.
Okay, hang on. Let me close myself out. Remove my.
Oh no. Well, that's no fun. Now Raul's not here. Get back on here, bro. I'm not gonna sit here and preach as if I got something to say. This is interesting. Raul, if you know how to get back up here, come on back.
That was scary. I thought thought I left for good.
You were gone. Oh,
okay,
shit.
So I'm back. So like we can like I guess just leave the screen share up. Like you tell me which mode is good. That's because they're all fairly small. Oh, you know what? Let me see if I can. I can't drag and drop. I wish there was a way to move this guy. Fuck.
Yeah.
If I click it enough times, no, it's not working.
Yeah.
Okay.
Show it. I mean, we could do it like this, just for the hell of it, so they could see that I'm reading something and I don't just keep all of this in my head. That's the thing. Like, write down good stuff. Post it in the comments, too, because that's nice for other people. But just some stuff that I find helpful. You know, we've gone over a lot of the basic stuff. Like, if you want to know the questions that you have to ask on sales calls in order to create objection-free closed sales, go to granteilertson.com, yada, yada. It's all free. But there's like other things that I hear people say that I love. Like one of them is just my typical transition statement before I go in to make an offer. You know, like instead of, I'm bringing this up because so many people, before they make an offer, like, okay, so let me tell you what I can do for you. I hate that because like, let me pitch you. It creates sales resistance. That's what Jeremy Miner says, at least. And I believe it. So instead, you know, I'll tell you something like, well, Raul, I mean, you know, based on everything you've told me today, it sounds like we really could help you out. And if you'd like, I could walk you through it step by step, but you just let me know, where do you want to go from here? So that you're giving me permission. It's like, oh yeah, please tell me about it. It puts you in a receptive state. So I'll future pace someone like, yeah, I mean, based on what you told me, it sounds like we really could help you out. And if you'd like, I could walk you through step by step what it would look like for us to accomplish XYZ goal together. But just let me know, where do you want to go from here? I think that one's fire. I love that. Also, two other things that I was teaching a new sales rep earlier on today is when I start calls, there's a couple different frames that I'll take depending, and it's usually just based on my mood. I mean, I don't have a formula behind it, but I like to get someone to acknowledge their needs on the front end while pacing as a professional that's going to be going through a diagnostic process. So one of the two things I'll say is like, okay, Raul, I understand that you booked this call today to discuss ways that you might be able to grow your business. And I'm prepared for that. First, I hope you wouldn't mind if I just got a little bit more clarity around what you're currently doing and ultimately what you want to achieve so that I can better direct this call. Is it cool if we just dive in with some questions to start? So I'll pace like, hey, we're going to talk about this. I'm here for it. But can I ask you some questions that'll better help me direct this call so you get the most out of it? Doing things like that to frame the conversation from the start in a collaborative sense versus an investigative sense, I find works so much better, especially with brand new reps or someone that's not as comfortable with sales, because they'll just be able to get their prospect in a place where they're like, oh, I get it. I'm sharing information so you can help me, not just so you can sell me something I might not need. So if I just start off being like, all right, so what's your biggest challenge in your business? Resistance goes up.
Mm-hmm.
Or one of the other ones I like to say is along the lines of, you know, hey, man, I understand you booked this call a few days ago to discuss different ways you might be able to grow your business, but I guess I should probably just start off by asking, I mean, have you already found a solution or are you still looking? Dude, birds keep flying into my windows. This is the weirdest thing. I got them cleaned. Maybe that wasn't a good choice.
I got the same thing behind me. Like in the daytime, there's like birds that right behind me because I'm outdoors now. So I got the outdoor office in Cali.
Dude, I'm so jealous. That looks so nice.
Yeah, I like it.
It's like 100 degrees here right now in Arizona. It's a bit too warm for my blood, but it's okay.
Yeah, no,
More California taxes.
Yeah, beats. I mean, both live in great areas. But yeah, no, I love that transition that you mentioned. The second one is one I use more often, just because it comes off more natural in my tonality.
Mm. Yeah, I'm going to pull this off just because it probably looks funny and I can just kind of...
Yeah.
In fact, this is good because if you hear something you like, write it down. Then you can have it in your own notes and you don't just have to come back and screenshot this.
Yeah, like who's going to write down? Like, I don't know who's out there, but if you guys... Who wants to write down... Let's repeat that second one, Grant, about finding if they've already found a solution or if they're still looking.
Yeah, so when my reps for the fitness offer will basically cold dial applications that didn't book calls, or they will cold dial people that didn't show calls as part of the proactive calling campaigns. They say this 100% of the time. I'll say it about half the time if I'm on a call, just depending on what my mood says. But I just want them to acknowledge a need before I waste time in a diagnostic. So it's like, hey, if it's a regular call, it's an inbound call. Hey, I understand you booked the call a couple days ago. Looking for different ways you might be able to grow your business. But I guess I should probably just start off by asking, have you already found a solution or are you still looking? Really important to get someone to acknowledge a need right off the bat. Because, I mean, come with the assumption, we're in the internet world. We got an attention span shorter than a goldfish. Someone could have already bought something. Don't waste your time. But two, we want them to acknowledge that right on the front end. And then if they're, cold calling someone, Belfort open with the upward trailing tonalities. We need to get into that. He's got a book all about it. It's real good stuff, but it's the same thing, hey, XYZ calling, blah, blah, blah. But before we, dive in, I want to be respectful of your time. Have you already found a solution, or are you possibly still looking? Love that. I'm trying to think of like some of the stuff that I find people run into most often. There's endless questions that you can have at your disposal for sales calls, but I got one more
frame though. Like that beginning frame gets rid of like the awkwardness, and it creates like that control frame, if you will. Because ultimately, at the end of the day, you want to take away, like you mentioned, sales resistance, because that's not what it's about. We're coming to a conclusion together. If we're better together, let's move forward together. If we're worse together, let's not move forward together. There's plenty of options. One of them is staying stuck. So, I mean, that's really the guiding factor is like we have to, because if we're going to sell something into our solution, guess what they're going to be doing? They're going to be working with you. They're going to be talking to you. So if you start off sleazy and slimy, I imagine the relationship may not change, right? They may have that sentiment about you along the way, whether you know it or not. But if you can remain friends, like along the way and along the journey, then and everybody takes responsibility to A, fulfill what they said they'd sell you, and B, you do your own part as a student. If it's a student-coach relationship, it's a win-win. It's a long-term relationship.
Yeah. Part of this too, like the questions are good, but the place you come from too, like, I don't care if you, with 100% certainty, believe you know what someone's situation is. If I say it, you doubt it. If you say it, you own it. So I have to be conscious of this too, because I've done so many calls with people and the patterns are so clear to me now. I could typically tell within 10 minutes if someone's a buyer, if they're not, and what they actually need, what's been in the way. But I can't just jump into an offer at that point. I need to have them feel properly diagnosed before I can make a prescription that'll actually land. It's like if you went into a doctor and the person right up at the front, is like, hey, I'm here to see Dr. Luck, and they just hand you a bottle of pills. Maybe they got a medical history and that's the right thing for you, but are you going to trust it? Fuck no. You don't feel diagnosed. You're like, why would I take these pills? You don't even know me. So do your best not to assume anything. Because even if you're right, chances are they're not going to take your word for it until they feel diagnosed. So go through the process. Like, hey, I don't want to assume anything. Have you already found a solution, or are you still looking? Oh, you're still looking. Well, do you have an idea, I guess, of specifically what you are looking for? Okay. That'll be super valuable intel right off the bat.
Yeah, 100%. Yeah, but I love that phrase of like what you mentioned. If you say it, they doubt it. If they say it, they own it. And that's important, is to get them to repeat their problems back to you, that you can be the solution. So I mean, some of those questions are like what do you mean by that? Like, can you help clarify that for me?
Yeah, help me connect the dots, man. I mean, you said this, but I guess how do you mean?
Totally. I love that. Listen to the curiosity. That's the most important part of like asking the delivery of that question.
Totally.
Yeah, because like sometimes like we think we know it all, but then something else comes out when you get a clarification question.
Yeah.
So it's so important, because like I would have made so many assumptions if I didn't ask simple question like, what do you mean by that? Like, how so? Like, I think it can help me. Like, what do you mean by that? Well, it can help me because I didn't have a CRM and I feel like I'm losing $100,000 a year because I don't have the automation that you just showed me. Like, you didn't know that information before, but then you already assumed that they thought that was a good feature for it. Now they actually declared that it's actually so important because you didn't know they were actually losing money.
Yeah. And I would take it a step further. If I ever want someone to argue in my favor, it's a why question.
Yep.
So if someone says, I'm like, okay, so based on all of this, does this feel like a perfect fit for you? Or do you feel like there's anything missing? No, it sounds pretty good. Okay, well, why do you think it would be a great fit for you, though? They'll justify. You never want to use why when trying to dismantle an objection. No, I don't think it's right for me at this time. Well, why do you say that? Boom, heels dug in. You're not closing that.
Yeah.
Never. Like, what do you think's coming up for you? What, how? Those questions are good for dismantling objections, but why is they're always going to argue for their stance. So make sure that if you ever use why, it's a double-edged sword, that it's in favor of your position. And your position, let me say this, because you watching this is probably not for you, unless you're a sleazy person. I'll keep it nice. You know, a handgun is a tool, and it can be used for good or bad. I don't give toddlers handguns, or at least I really try not to. So make sure that them saying yes to your offer is in their highest interest too. Don't bring on people that you can't really help. That's what one of the companies that we run, business coaching for fitness coaches. I'll just be transparent. Like, it's incredibly rare we talk with someone where we're their first potential coach. And of the probably 95% of people that have already worked with someone, 95% of those people have been screwed over by shysters or people that just didn't deliver on their promises or enrolled someone that they couldn't really help. It grinds my gears. And thank God we have such an epic coaching staff that can truly help people with the things that they actually need. But like, man, if it's not in their highest interest, don't do it. It's such a short lifespan of your business. If you bring on the wrong people, you can't deliver on your promises, and you just don't act with integrity. We're getting off on a tangent. There's one other question pattern that I think would be appropriate to share. And I got it loosely from Jeremy Miner. He calls it the two truths. I just closed my Uber driver into a $9,000 coaching program on the spot with this question. It was awesome. I love it. So I'll use this question pattern in two circumstances. One, if someone has seemingly a pretty big ego, like, oh no, just saw things are going good. I just saw an ad, wanted to see what you had to offer. You know, like, what's your pitch? What do you got? Or if they have worked with other people in the past and they didn't necessarily love the experience. These are the two circumstances in which I'll use this. So it's the premise that no one is 100% happy with everything in their life. Even if they're pretty darn happy, there's always that maybe 1% where they're not. And in that 1% that they're not, there's your leverage to potentially make a sale and help someone. So here's the thing is, like, if someone comes to a call and that's their frame, right? Like, oh no, I've already got systems and stuff in place. It's going good, but I saw an ad and I just figured I'd see what you got. Right? Instead of me being like, well, obviously something's wrong or you wouldn't be on this call in the first place, and I get combative, that's not going to go anywhere. Because, oh, did I lose audio? I don't hear me anymore.
No, I hear you. Can you hear me?
That's weird. It just switched over to my computer. Let me see if I can get it back real quick. Internal. Yeti. Nope. Okay.
You sound good. Can you hear me?
Unplug.
I can't hear you right now. I heard you like, you can hear me? Now I can
What
hear
happened?
you. Now I can hear you. I can hear you.
There we go.
There we are. Okay.
Better?
We're back.
Okay. Cool. Roll with the punches. You never know what's going to happen. This Yeti just crapped out on me, I guess. So I'm not going to hit it head on because, one, it gets combative, and two, in the back of their mind, if they think things are going well, they've got this ammo that would keep them from moving forward because they've got this information they think you don't have, right? So in the context, again, this car with an Uber driver, just like, I love my job, this, that, and the other. So anyway, the whole purpose of this is to bring up what it is, that sliver that they don't like, after they've actually disclosed all the things they love. So they're essentially emptying their holster at that point and are now open to an authentic conversation. So I'll ask a question like, well, Raul, it seems like things are going fairly well for you at this point. I guess just curious, man, like, what do you like about how you're doing things right now? And you start telling me all this stuff about, I do this. It's working pretty good. Wow, cool, man. That sounds great. Anything else? Yada, yada, yada. Wow. Sounds like you've got a lot of stuff dialed in. I guess, what would you change about it though, if you could? I'm not going to go there until you've already said everything that you feel is great and you've emptied that out and you feel validated in it. And then I'll go, I mean, I guess what would you change about it if you could? And they'll tell me. And then I'll ask, why is that important to you? And those why questions, like we talked about earlier, is going to then dig the heels in. Okay, well, why would that be important to you though? Huh? And why would that be important to you now? Oh, really? Okay. Anything else that you're looking for? Gotcha. So in the context of this conversation, I get in this car with an Uber driver. She's got great energy. I'm like, wow, how long have you been driving Uber? It seems like you really like it. She goes, oh, I've been doing it for about 4 years. It's awesome. I love it. I'm like, really? What do you like about it? Oh, I get to meet new people. I get to see the city. I'm like, wow, that's really cool. Anything else? She goes, well, I mean, it's pretty fun. It's just one of my income streams. Wow. So you've got a lot of things going on. Yeah, I really, really love it. Like, cool. Well, I guess I'm just curious, what would you change about this if you could? And she mentions, well, you know what? One of those things that I do, it's just kind of been a side gig, is health coaching. I'm like, really? Tell me more about that. Oh, I love doing this. I've been helping people for 10 years. It's just kind of been a side thing. I've never really gone all in on it, but I've had some videos go viral, and I thought about maybe doing more. Like, really? What would life be like if you did that more often? Do you think you'd have a bigger impact than you do now? He goes, oh man, it's my calling. So we start off with like, no, I love Uber driving. Wouldn't change it for the world. Let her talk all about it and get to the point where there's this sliver. Well, I guess, if I could change anything, I would do more of this coaching. Really? Tell me more about that. Why would that be important to you? Oh, I just love, really being able to see someone change their life. And on the other side, I mean, it feels so good having those success stories. I'm like, damn, fuck yeah, I agree with you. In fact, it's funny that we just happen to be in the same car together because it's actually what I help people do. And frankly, with someone of your energy, there's no reason why you couldn't be pulling $1 million a year doing what you love. I guess, have you ever considered possibly doing this full time if maybe you had a proven system to make it simple? So, honey, you got my ear. Tell me all about it. And before I left that $40 Uber, we got a $9,000 deal in. She's in the program. She's killing it. She's like a dream person. But that conversation arose because of that question that Jeremy Miner calls the 2 truths question. And I don't do it exactly as he does, just the way that's authentic to me. But that's a really solid one to keep in your pocket for if someone is with a coach right now, they've been with something in the past that they didn't love, or they come to a call with a big ego. Remember that. Sounds like things are going fairly well for you at this point. I guess, what do you like about it? Really, anything else? Oh, that sounds amazing. I guess, though, what would you change about it, though, if you could? Oh, really? Why would that be important to you? Huh. Well, that makes sense. But I guess, why would that be important to you now? Oh, no kidding. Anything else you're looking for specifically? Oh, really? Funny you say that.
You don't say.
You don't say.
So you got paid to take Uber, and now you got a student that's making fat stacks of cash.
Fat stacks. It's fun.
That's amazing. So I mean, all of this stuff that you've heard Grant eloquently say without stuttering, or if he did, it was intentional. I'll tell you that. I know that.
I write it out too. If ... If
yeah.
Hyphen.
Yeah. And when you're doing sales pitches, you're supposed to say if ... And if you do if ... that means longer pause.
Yeah, but I mean, think about it, like, oh wow, sounds good. What would you change about it if you could, though?
Yeah.
Oh, that sounds amazing. I guess, what would you change about it if you could? Totally different.
100%.
That's why you got to listen to your calls, do role plays, and listen to them.
Listen to the calls, do role plays. I mean, I'm a big fan of learning like persuasion, psychology, sales. Like you mentioned about the toddler and the gun, obviously for good, not for bad.
Yeah.
Because you want to enroll people and sell people that you can actually get a result for. So you, on the end result, they can be your champions, refer you business, stay with you longer. And be a testimonial case study that won't talk shit behind your back, because that's easy to do. That's the majority of coaches, I would imagine, right now. because too many people learn a very specific skill, and in 10 minutes later, they're trying to repeat it as a parrot and then fuck it all up, and then they're no longer a coach, right? So
Yep.
that's just the world we live in currently. But that's your job now, to find somebody that's vetted that can get you where you want to go. So if you do need coaching, find a coach that can help you get where you want to go. Somebody ahead of you, not farther ahead of you, not always the better. You don't want to coach. You don't want to get somebody who's a billionaire if you're just starting out. You may get information that's too advanced for you today. So learn. And it's
speaking of which, if you're in this group and you're watching Raul and Cody on a regular basis and you haven't yet hired them, I can't think of better people to work with. Raul himself has probably like 200 years worth of experience in 30 because of the people that he has chosen to work with, pay to work with, that are insane legends in the field. And he's compounded all this information down into actionable systems. Hire him. Do it. Just take the next step. Because like we talked about earlier, the worst thing that happens, fuck it up a little bit. Okay, you learned. You still got 6 more chances to become a master at something in your lifetime. Here's the thing that one of the coaches on our staff said today, and it hit home. I loved how he said it. He said he said the discomfort of transformation fades a lot faster than the pain of regret.
Dude, repeat that slowly so I can write it down.
Like it's fire.
That right there is going to be on every one of my calls from here on out forever. I love that. Okay.
Dude, it's so good. He said that and I was like, oh,
the pain of discomfort.
Yeah. So the discomfort of transformation.
Okay, sorry. The discomfort.
Yeah, the discomfort of transform. And write this down in the comments too, you guys.
The discomfort of transformation
fades far faster than the disappointment of not following through. Or you could change it a little bit because it's also true. The discomfort of transformation fades way faster than the disappointment of a missed opportunity. Raul's not going to do this forever. He might do it till he's 70, or he might quit tomorrow because he could. Take advantage of people like him, because at the end of the day, yeah, it's going to be uncomfortable to hire a coach. It's going to be uncomfortable to pay more than you think you're capable of. It's going to be uncomfortable to do things differently than you have up to this point. But reason me this, why would Einstein, a guy a hell of a lot smarter than I am, say a problem can't be solved with the same level of mind that created it? Unless you're 100% happy with the circumstances in your life, which if you are, props to you. Don't change a damn thing. That's amazing. I aspire to that. But unless you're 100% happy with everything you've got going in your life right now, then it would stand to reason that it might be time to consider thinking about things a little bit differently. Because the results you have in your life are 100% a result of the decisions you've made. That's it. Mm-hmm. Nothing else. And if you've screwed it up, great. That means you have the power to manipulate your experience of life. If you've been able to screw it up, you got enough power to fix it. So hire someone to shortcut this by about 200 years. Like Raul, you can't hire me. I don't do that. I'm happy with what I got right now. But hire Raul. He's a badass. So again, unless you're stoked, perfectly content with everything you got in your life, just consider stretching your comfort zone a little bit, because you can't wait until you are fully confident that everything's going to work out before you take action. Because you haven't done it yet. You haven't lived as that version of yourself that has the success you aspire to have. You don't have the confidence before you take the action. It starts with courage. If you wait till you're confident to make the decision, you won't do it. But courage precedes confidence. If you have the courage to just take that one step, hire the coach that stretches you just a little bit, or maybe a lot of bit, in my circumstance usually, have the courage to take the next step, and the confidence will follow if you're going with a good mentor, which I can 100% endorse, bro. I wouldn't have done, 6 interviews with you up to this point if I didn't 100% believe what I'm saying. So I just wanted to throw it out there because I know you're not going to make a pitch on this, but I'm going to, because people need to work with you.
Oh man, I appreciate that. That was awesome at the end. I didn't ask for that either, guys. So in case you're thinking about it, Grant, the check's in the mail. I'm just kidding.
Boom. Royalties.
Awesome, man. So yeah, no, I appreciate that. And I appreciate you spending over 65 minutes with me now.
It's been fun.
Enjoying the beer, and maybe on the next one, because we're now committed to this Rocky series.
Yeah, we're going the distance.
So we'll have to schedule something soon, something hopefully, preferably in person.
Finally, dude. I finally got an office here. We'll get another chair in here, set up a couple mics, we'll shoot the shit, and then go out for beers afterwards.
Got to do a podcast together or something, and just have something fun.
I'm in for it. As long as we get like tequila and talking on Tuesdays or something like that.
We'll come up with a good topic, and it'll be something tequila related. That's definitely, maybe we'll have like different bottles every time we do an episode, and we could get Luis to do the podcast for us.
Yes, maybe we'll finally get popular enough to have fans send in cool new bottles of tequila. I love trying new stuff.
That's a good angle. We'll get endorsements.
I like it. I'm always open. I'll send you my PO box.
Yeah. Amazing, man. Hey, thanks again for spending the time with us. For you guys that are watching this now, show some love, get some comments. If you do need help, like Grant mentioned, feel free to reach out to us. We are here. We build agencies, we build coaches. We can make you get more sales more effortlessly. Like Grant mentioned, you can skip the line because you don't have enough time on this earth to make all the mistakes. We can help you get there much faster so you can enjoy things quicker, whatever it is you like to do, whether it's vacation, free time, or otherwise. So anyways, thanks, Grant, man. I'll connect with you on Messenger, and we got to plan the Rocky bout number 5.
Hell yeah, brother. I look forward to it. Thanks for having me on again. Look forward to the next time.